So let's just start. So very good afternoon to everyone. This is Chinmay from TradeClue, and today we are going to discuss about all the alerts that we have traded and given to you live with the pro segment, and also we are going to discuss some of the uh, tricks, okay, that I am using in intraday day in day out. All right. So first of all, what are the things that you observe in the morning as soon as the day starts? What are the alerts that we need to focus on? Anyone? What are the pro alerts that we are looking at in the morning itself to make good money? Right? So Vinay is asking me pro alerts, but yes, in pro alerts, what are the alerts that we are more interested? Right? Okay. So they are morning buzzer, they are NY pro alerts, right? Fine. Just a moment, guys. Is anyone getting some noise at background? The voice is clear, right? Okay, fine. Okay. Now see, let's first discuss about the all alerts, and then I will start giving you the other ideas as well, what I'm using. First thing, if you want to check what I do day in day out, so these are the alerts that we trade, and I use the TradeClue chart for the same. Okay, if you'll see, so I have Punch, Bandhan Bank, and Hindi Unilever. So Bandhan Bank was one of our trade which come in the morning itself in morning buzzer. So what do you mean by morning buzzer? As I said, morning buzzer are the stocks which moves very rapidly. Where to find this? So let's go in live market, go in query, and you can click on general morning buzzer and pro morning buzzer. Okay. So morning buzzer is the segment where we get maximum alerts or the stocks which are having a very volatile move. Specifically, if you'll see here in the pro alert, the morning buzzer pops up in a green color. That means it is for buying, right? If you'll see, so Hero Motocorp was for morning buzzer, Bandhan Bank was for morning buzzer, and then we need to decide how to enter, looking at what are the different conditions. So Bandhan Bank I traded. What I did is I entered as soon as the first candle's high got broke. Okay, let's check. Now see. So this was the high made by the first candle. What happened? Now the second candle actually tried to go higher, but again retraced back, and then it started going up. As soon as it goes high and crosses the previous candle's highs, the dotted line started appearing. That means a strong buying happened in that zone. What I did is I entered in that zone, keeping a very small stop loss. Now, what will be my stop loss in this case? My stop loss will be the retracement low. Okay, so I entered above the previous candle's high, keeping a very small stop loss. This is the retracement low, and I started booking the profits in this zone when I'm getting an important level any closer. Okay, now the same thing happened with Hero MotoCorp, but now every structure cannot be ideal. First thing first, the Hero MotoCorp was in our buy. It made first green candle. Immediately a retracement happened. It started mingling around yesterday's close. A dotted line started appearing there. When we see a comfortable closing happen above this DR zone, this retracement candles high, we keep it as our entry, and that's why we give you alert to buy above 13-15 zone, 32-15 zone, and now the retracement low will be your SL, that is 31.94, somewhere around where this orange dotted line is also present. And we also made a handsome profit. So as soon as we started engaging near weekly resistance, this is WR. WR stands for weekly resistance. So we booked some profits here, and we booked another round of profits near monthly resistance zone. Okay, so this was a very good trade in the morning itself. Now, if you know, we also trade in NY Pro alerts. Have you started observing the NY Pro alerts? So HDFC Life was another alert which came in breakout pro. So what happened? We tried entering above this zone. We entered somewhere here, keeping a small stop loss, right? And then it started inching higher, but then a sharp fall happened. So you can always trail your stop loss as soon as you will see some good moving stop. Unfortunately, it took the SL. That is perfectly fine. If you'll see, there were so many alerts that came in our pro segment. Now see. So first, as we discussed, it was Hero MotoCorp, gave a handsome profits with a very small stop loss. Other than that, the HDFC Life was there. As soon as a big green candle came, we entered in that candle just above the first candle's high, and the immediate stop loss was below that candle low. It took the stop loss. It was a small stop loss of 3 rupee, not more than that, which is hardly half a percent, right? Now there were some NY Pro alerts that came. Now what do you mean by NY Pro alert? Now see here, whenever we get such alerts like there was an alert in Gale. Okay, see the first candle. The first candle was a very strong green candle. It approached near an important level, that is daily average 2 range. It started mingling around the same, took a little retracement, and along with this dotted line, it started moving up. As soon as I am getting any follow-up candle closing above that cluster, I'll be more happy to go and punch my order. What will be my stop loss? The retracement low. Just like I did it in Bandhan Bank. So when I entered in Bandhan Bank, I entered with a very small stop loss that was hardly half a percent. And then as soon as it started giving me profits, I booked partial profit and I was trailing with the remaining quantity. The same thing happened with Gale as well. What else? So there is a REC. See here with REC. Now, as soon as a strong candle appeared, the dotted line started showing us a huge activity. Now I'll be cautious and will not add anything until and unless I will get a strong candle closing above that zone. All right. And that time, keeping a very small stop loss is convincing just below the first retracement zone. Now that's how you actually decide the stop loss. The safer stop loss will be the complete retracement low. But if the risk reward is not favorable, you need to identify another retracement low which is near to your entry point. Otherwise, what will happen? Now see, if I'm entering in this zone and my stop loss is somewhere around 1.5%, what I need is I need at least another 1.5% in the second half, right? If I'm not getting 1:1 kind of risk reward ratio. The ideal risk reward ratio is 1:2 kind of thing. If you're trailing your stop loss, it is still protected. But if not, need to understand I don't need to engage with any stock which is having stop loss more than 1.25%. In intraday, very few time we get a handsome results. If you're keeping such huge SLs, okay? The same thing happened with Coal India as well. If you'll see here, every stock came in your NY Pro alert. Okay, that's why I said in the morning itself, you need to understand what are the key queries that I need to punch. Okay, see here. So Coal India was there in your NY Pro condition, right? So as soon as the first candle's high will get clear, I'll be happy to go and punch my order. If I'll see there's a very good dotted line started appearing in that zone, I'll be more happy to punch with a good quantity. As soon as I will see a follow-up buying in that zone, so here, if I'm getting another fresh buying in that zone, what I will do is whatever initial stop loss will be there, I will trail my stop loss. Okay. So in case if the stock reverses, it will not take my capital. Clear? So Devas is asking, today we got first red or green candle in first 5 minutes. How do we trade in that candle? You also need to understand whether the stock is on my buying radar or no. If the stock is on my buying radar and then it appears with a very good green candle and then there will be some retracement and a candle closing above the first candle's high, then and then only I am interested to go for it. If the first candle is your red candle and it starts making base near yesterday close and then it takes out the first 5 minute red candle, I'll be interested to go and punch my order. Okay, you need to know what are my entry points. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide one small Excel sheet, one Word document to let you know the different morning entry points. Okay, we'll show you. Now see, this is one of your morning entry point. A red candle, it starts making a base near yesterday close, and then a green candle comes up. This is a very good entry criteria. Okay, today it was most of the time this one. This was gap up bullish structure, right? A very good green candle, stock goes sideways, and then a clear breakout. Same thing happened with Bandhan Bank. Same thing happened with Gale. Same thing happened with REC, right? So I'm going to share this with you. Now this was the today's alert. Yesterday we did not have anything. We had one in 9th. So it was Hindalco which provided us a very good entry point, right? This was the first candle. Second, third candle made inside formation, and then a clear breakout happened, right? Let's see Hindalco. Now see here. The first candle color, it is green, right? The stock was on our selling radar. What happened here? It made a first candle opening range, and more importantly, it started moving inside that first 5-minute candle. So this will become the opening range of first 5-minute candle. As soon as I will get a closing below that first 5-minute, more probably closing below the yesterday close as well, it simultaneously broke the zone, not just the first 5-minute candle but the yesterday's close as well. And now I'll be more happy to go for it because this was the previous support which is getting break. Keeping a small stop loss, I can enter in that trade, which was a very handsome trade because it moved somewhere around almost 2%, right, from our entry point. So this was the alert that we got in 9 December. So LT was there in breakout pro on 8th. What we had is we had a very good fall first, and then the stock started coming near your max call OI and near DS level, and as soon as that level started sustaining above the W pattern, I will show you here. Check LT. First thing first, this was the earliest previous good support, okay, on 5-minute chart. What happened? Stock started falling, and that started falling very rapidly. This was the first phase, a little retracement. Second phase, this is your extended rally. It formed a W pattern near your daily support range. There was near 1160, there was max call OI as well. As soon as we get a solid candle, you can keep the low of that zone as your SL and you can be in that trade. Then it started moving up from that zone. And we started booking the profits near important levels, right? Other than this, we had Reliance. If you'll see, Reliance was in your reversal pro alert. How many of you traded with Reliance? And how many of you are trading in big stocks or the large cap stocks using options? No one is trading in options? Okay, okay. So Prasad is just trading in options, Nifty and Bank Nifty. A little scared about the stocks. Yeah, if you are not having idea about the stock options, particularly stick with the cash only, okay? Because only few stocks are very good liquid in options, particularly the first 20 stocks. If you'll see here, there are only few stocks which are very liquid in nature. All right, and see now as soon as this range got broke the high of previous day in a single 5-minute candle. Now what pattern it is? Again, we have just discussed this pattern, right? It makes first a very good red candle, starts forming a base and then it takes a U-turn, and that U-turn not only closes above today's high, that is current day's high, but also above previous day high. This is called base violation. We have named it base violation. Okay, and as soon as you will see the first 5-minute candle is conquered by the buyers, they will start panicking and they will start unwinding their positions, and it will result into a very good fast up move. That is exactly happened with Reliance as well, right? So very decent move happened in Reliance, almost 2.5%. And if you're thinking in options, the options actually provide you very handsome results if the stock is very much liquid in that particular segment. Okay. Other than this, we're having Bajaj Auto. We have selected a day prior, right? So those were the alerts which came in this particular week. Okay, that was 7 December. Let's see. Now check. Hindi Unilever was the first alert which came into breakout pro, right? So this was the breakout pro that came at 9:22. So this was the second candle where we got the confirmation, and we asked you to enter above the first candle's high. Let's check. Now see here, this was the first candle which was above previous day high. Now it's a strong candle. As soon as I will get a strong candle above one of the important level, what I will do is simply I'll go and I'll mark the high of that candle. That's why we said to buy above this zone itself. This was the another candle which made inside appearance. It was in that first 5-minute range, and as soon as I'm getting any closing above that zone, I'll be happy to go and buy, keeping a small stop loss. And that was a very handsome rewarding trade throughout the day. So it gave us somewhere around comfortable 1.5% move, right? So HDFC Limited was the other stock which we traded in the second half. Now I'll show you the HDFC trade. Now see, first thing first, it started inching higher, made a retracement, started going sideways. If you observe what is happening in this zone, it is again and again retesting the same high. And if you start observing, when a similar high is tested again and again, now that resistance become weaker, and that's why we wanted to enter just above that zone, and that's why I said to buy the stock above this particular zone. We kept a very small stop loss in place and got a very handsome result in the second half. Now in the second half, most of the time, if you are looking at such patterns and the direction of the market is clear, you will hardly see any retracement and it will give you a very smooth result. That exactly happened with HDFC Limited, and we minted some profit in that day, right? So these are the alerts that came into your pro segment. The accuracy was very high, more than 80% for the entire week. We made a good money out of it. Now I'll show you one of a thing that I do in options. Okay, if you know this tool, you'll get this idea. If you go on Nifty and Bank Nifty, and if you plot a rectangle, simply you can check this. Okay, if I'm plotting a rectangle in this zone, okay, in say first 1 hour, and I'm checking what is the position of that particular day, I'll come to know on upside there are huge red bars. That means they will act as a resistance, and at the bottom I hardly see any green candles. That means the support is not there. Rather than this, I will see some of the erosion in particular strikes. If you'll see negative OI, so 30,200 has a negative OI. Same with 30,300. That to till the morning tick, and that is actually resulting into the fall. Now what I do, I simply go and I sell the options above that zone. I'm an option seller, that's why I prefer to go for option selling. Sometimes if you are getting any particular pattern looking at this concept, okay, that any important level is breaking, you can participate in buying put as well. I prefer to go for selling calls. Okay, and that is what I'm doing day in day out, because here I don't need to worry about what is happening in every single 5-minute candle. I'm a seller and I sell far out of the money stocks, because I am not tracking day in day out or 5 minute candle by candle movement. And that's why I prefer to go for selling. Whereas I am more active in futures with the options, futures with the stocks. I'll show you. This is my option selling account, where I prefer to sell only options, both the side, okay, both call and put side. Whenever I will see the cluster, now here is the zone, okay, then I will come to know that more of a calls are getting written by the option seller. What I will see, most of the calls are heavily sold by the option sellers. I will prefer to sell the same thing. I will prefer to sell more of a call option. If you'll see here, this is 30 to 300, 30 to 100. This is 30 to 600. I'm continuously selling these options. I keep some hedge as well, but I'll prefer to go for selling the call options. And this is the today's PNL. Okay, so every single day I'm making small money by selling the calls and selling the put using that open interest tool. Now here, to make a small PNL, I don't need to much worry about every 5-minute candle. I simply look at where the open interest is built up, and above that and below that zone, I am comfortable to sell my options. All right. So these are the things that I do actively day in day out. I'm not a huge fan of option buying, because in that case you need to be very sharp, and you need to concentrate entire day on the chart, what is happening 5-minute candle by candle, and you can take the decision according to your comfort zone. What I see, I don't care much about where market is going. I'll rather concentrate on where market is not about to go, and I comfortably go and sell that calls and put accordingly. So what I do, Vinay, if I'm a seller in 31 100, 31 200, 31 300 call option, okay, first thing that I do is I hedge them along with far out of the money put as well. Okay, far out of the money put, where the chances are very low that market will go in that direction. If it is going smoothly in my direction, I get more money compared to put. That is my first hedge leg. And in case if I'll come to know that it is not moving in my direction, I start buying some far out of the money calls as well. Today, it was not required to go and buy and hedge it. Well, hedging is required when you are bit closer. If I'm close somewhere around 31,000, then I'll prefer to hedge it with the half of the amount of call option. Okay, if I'm selling 100 rupee call, I'll be hedging it with say 30 or 40 rupee call as well. You cannot go far out of the money, so that the hedging is for namesake and you're just getting the margins. Okay, yes, I do. I prefer to go with the strangle first, but it's a bias strangle. So I go selling near call options and far out of the money put options. Okay. Yes. Any doubts you have, guys? So start focusing on this. Huh? Yes, Prasad. So Zerodha doesn't allow you for far OTM. There's a reason. You know, Zerodha is one of the largest broker in India. So they're having a huge client base, a retail client base, right? And as a retailer, we prefer to go for far out of the money, not for selling, but for buying, right? And that's why if the retail people start buying 10 rupee, 15 rupee call option and put option, there's a limit set for every broker by exchange of total turnover. And that's why if the retailer starts buying the cheaper premium, the big player or the serious player will not get the benefit of buying and selling near. That's why they actually stopped doing that activity. They stopped giving us the opportunity to buy far out of the money or sell far out of the money. Okay. Yes, you need big margin in that case if you're not hedging your position. So Vaishal is asking that what time we should start drawing rectangle. At least give 1 hour to the market. Okay. If you are observing today's market, at least you need to see what the big players are doing for first 1 hour. If I'll come to know in the first 1 hour what is the activities going on, I'll be pretty much comfortable and will start building my position. See, in the first 1 hour, I see as compared to the call side, put side, calls are heavily written. 31,000 call has added almost 9,176 open interest. Whereas if you see the put side, they have started reducing the open interest. It was a clear sign that big people are continuously building the positions on upside, and that's why I prefer to go for selling calls. One can go for buying puts as well, but in that case they should have a defined entry setup. Is there any base violation in the first minute itself or the first 5-minute candle making any ORB and it is getting break, looking at the OI, these are your entry points and that will be high rewarding. Okay, but if the market is sideways, the selling is the best option to mint slow but steadily, right? So Prasad is asking me, is there a base violation? See, if the base violation is then a base violation is your most of the time, it's a morning pattern. Okay, if this is the red candle broke by a green candle, the same thing if you're asking me, and downside, so you're asking me for this pattern, right? The green candle price goes sideways for some time and then a red candle appears. See what happened in Nifty, the same thing happened, but it took a very long time. So we cannot consider that now morning's high or morning's low in first place. Rather, you can start focusing on what is happening in that zone. What I see, it appeared near that gap up zone. This was the gap up zone, right? Let me mark a line over here. Price started inching that zone, it retraced back and then it is falling down. Now this is your confirmation candle. This is your retracement high. So you can keep your SL in this zone and you can enter somewhere here. Okay. If same process happens in the morning itself, it will provide you a very good chance to get in. See the example. Now, this is Balkrishna Industry. The first candle is a green candle. Price goes sideways in that first candle and then a clear breakout happened. When you will see a candle closes below all the cluster and the low made by the first candle itself. Now here you can simply take the trade, keeping the retracement or the clusters high as your stop loss. All right.